Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Canadian Starships live stream tonight. First order of business, can you see me? Can you hear me? Is everything working out? Make sure that you leave me a comment in the comment section. Let me know that you can see me, you can hear me, also that you are here so that I can know who it is I'm talking to. We have a few people in the chat already. Ken's here saying good evening, everyone. Trent's here saying, hey, guys. And saying, hey, Ken. Devin Smith is here saying hello, watching while working on the TOS Galileo. Very nice. Ken says, I can see you and hear you. Perfect. That means that everything is working. And also says, hey to Trent. Devin says, can see, can hear. That's good. And Argonaut, welcome to the stream. I hear you. Awesome. That is great. Trek Mods is here and says, hello, I just made it home in time. Awesome that you are here. Welcome, everyone. We're going to be doing some work tonight. Hopefully by the end of the stream, fingers crossed, the nacelles might just be closed up. We'll see. We'll see how we get there. Captain Shellamang is here, says hello, everyone. And Trent says, hey, Jody. All right. So, we're here. We're gonna get some work done on the Enterprise. On the Enterprise that's behind me here. I've got my tea, Earl Grey hot, to keep me going during the live stream. I'm not sure if we'll have any producers tonight. We'll see who shows up to help out, but let's get started. So I do have some stuff to show you on the big Enterprise. So we'll show you some flashy on that. Devin Smith says, had a bit of failure with the shuttle. It was no longer turning on. I cut a big hole in the side to get to the Arduino just to discover a short was happening with my exterior wires. Oh no. So are you saying that you cut into it to get to the Arduino and you didn't end up needing to cut into it to get to the Arduino because it was on something that was more accessible? It's always the way it works out. You're never sure what's going on, and you do whatever testing you can do, and then so you go into it to dig more because you haven't found out and find out that it was something simple. And says that's precisely correct, Andrew. And welcome, Ken.
Hello.
How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well, thanks. How are you?
Not too bad. We'll have to see if Ian is able to connect tonight or not. I'm not sure if he'll be able to, but keep that banhammer ready by perhaps.
Always at the ready.
Jody says, Dr. Nick Riviera voice. Hey, everybody.
Hey, Dr. Nick. And
Devin says, I wouldn't know it was a short without seeing that the Arduino works outside. Oh, okay. So not all loss cutting into the model then. So apparently he had an issue with his Galileo shuttle and ended up having to cut in to get to the my image stabilization is not working quite right tonight on my face camera. That's weird. Oh well. I had to cut into the Galileo to find out what was going on because things were not working. Captain Shellamang says, always annoying when you have to take something apart when the issue was something external. I know that feeling. Yeah, but he's saying that he wouldn't have known what it was until he accessed the Arduino. I guess it would probably be a little tricky to keep your board outside of the model on the Galileo shuttle, but it's one reason why my go-to is always to keep boards outside of the model kit whenever possible.
You could always do it like a landing pad base, like as if it's sitting in the Enterprise.
Mm-hmm. All right, I'm gonna bring the model over. Let me go grab her. Ugh. Here she comes. Dun 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 dun. All right. Just have to be careful at this point that I'm not pulling any wires or anything when I move it. I'm finding that StreamYard seems to be playing around with the darkness of my camera, of the input feed tonight. Because nothing's changing on my streaming software, but my StreamYard seems to go a little bit darker on me. So I'm not quite sure what's going on with that. Here she is. I'll have to reposition her away from the face cam a little bit. Oh, you know what? What I'm seeing is when my mouse hovers over top of the screen for StreamYard, so it must not be doing it for you guys. All right, here we go. I might need to grab another camera or go to my face view camera when I start this up. But I am going to plug this thing into the lighting system and show off a little bit of the lighting tonight before we get working on the rest of the nacelle assembly. So how are things with you, Ken?
Not too bad. I just finished off my latest episode, I guess I'd say, of the Reliant Buddy build.
Okay.
And it's sitting on YouTube waiting to go live tomorrow morning.
Now, do you have a schedule for your releases?
I just go off of when we started. I do every Sunday, kind of 11 o'clock my time, which is 9 o'clock Jordan's time. Ideally, if Jordan wasn't so busy, he'd be able to get his out on that same 9 a.m. his time Sundays, but he's been pretty busy lately.
Yeah. So rather than trying to just get them up whenever they're ready, you kind of have like a set time you aim to have it up by.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the one time I was up till about 2 a.m. I think, Sunday morning, by the time everything was done and it was uploaded.
Oh, no.
That was just once.
Well, I know the feeling of pushing through to try to get a video out. When I did the unboxing video for this thing, I wanted to be the first one out with an unboxing video, but the day it arrived, I had COVID.
Oh no.
So I was filming that video and putting that whole video together while having COVID and feeling rather crummy.
I bet.
And trying to get it all done. So that was not the most fun of days, but it was good to get that video out. Let's see.
Captain Charlemagne. Yeah, so my channel is Ken's Hobby Bench, like Jody said there. And yeah, it's a 537 scale Reliant. We're using the mods that Will over at the Ensign's Chair put together. And that a lot of them are being done by Lake Monster Detail. So they're parts that haven't been released by Lake Monster yet. We're just kind of trialing them out and just
You're
kind of
special.
Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of what we've been doing. So this will be episode 7. And I just kind of finished the rear shuttle bay area of the ship.
Okay.
We've done things like remove the molded in phasers, and then rescribe the lines in, and then put little beads in there to make them look more like the studio ship, that sort of thing.
Very nice. Before I plug this thing in, I'm just going to create an extra. Oops. What am I saying? An extra test scene. So I've got one with the Borg and one without.
Okay.
So bear with me while I make these changes. You just can't see what I'm doing this on a laptop here, just in the inner lighting system, and I just have to quickly reset up the program here. Let's see. I have to do this in a certain order for it to work right. 650 Windows, main white, no delay. Save that. I wish I could just copy my scene. So Buzzards, red, and 3. I'm not gonna make a whole ton of sense to you yet. Buzzards, red, 3. I just have to say this because I'm copying some settings. Chiller Grills, warp 5. Chiller Grill. Oh. Chiller Grill. Warp 5. And save. Okay. I've got a test scene set up, and I modified it last night to add the Borg effect. Sorry, just checking out chat there. I wanted to have one that didn't have that effect on it just for tonight. So rather than continuously to add the Borg and remove the Borg, I've got one with and one without.
There you go.
All right, so I've got the Raspberry Pi plugged in here into the breadboard. The Pi is plugged into the breadboard. Let me grab my power. Plug power going to the ship into the breadboard. Now, first time I plugged all this stuff in last night, it didn't work properly. So here's hoping it works first time tonight. Okay. I'm going to run the test scene. Well, the windows will light up. The Buzzards light up. And the chiller grills light up. And they go to warp.
Nice. Perfect. I like that flash.
Let me switch over to this camera. You can see the glow on my face. I've got such a glow. But here's... I've got a lot of light going on here. Give me a moment. I'm going to turn some light off. See if that helps. How's this?
That looks great.
Let me turn it all off again. Start her up. Oh, and she goes green.
Here we go, Borg Invasion.
I'm going to turn my other studio light off here and try that. One moment, please.
And Trent says looks awesome.
It is now rather dark in here. At least to the camera it is. So the glow in the nacelles there is just from the window lights. There we go. That gives you a nice idea.
That'll just be so amazing, especially walking into like a dimmed room.
Yeah. So that's where we're at right now. Let me turn these lights back on because I need them.
Jody says, "I like the way you curve the strip for the Bassard. That's how I did the Bassards on the Excelsior, just smaller."
Well, the reason I ended up doing that, I was going to use 5mm addressable LEDs. And the reason I ended up doing that was just to give me more LEDs in the Bassards to play with for different types of effects. So we don't need all those LEDs all the time, but it gives the option for being able to do different effects and stuff. So, all right, I'm gonna. Let me switcheroo my views. Here we are, and let me move her down this way a little bit so that the nacelles at least are in the camera. It's like going to the edge of the camera here. It's so big.
Yes, we're getting right at the edge, top and bottom.
So I installed this chiller grill today. This one was previously installed. This chiller grill went in faster just because I'd done it once already. I've got to say the chiller grills are on the kit are just a wee bit short. So it's a bit to get them to fit in properly back there. So Helios could stand to make these probably 4 or 5 millimeters longer, front to back.
Good to know. So it's a known issue.
Well, I don't know if it's known to them or not, but that's what I will say. It could stand to be that much bigger. So what's left to do on this to get the nacelles closed up? Very good question. Thanks for asking. What has to happen is the flashers have to be connected, and the challenging part in that is that there's flashers top and bottom. So there's flashers in the bottom half and there's flashers on the top half, and they have to be connected to the same line inside. So I have to manage balancing the part to get them connected so that I don't have a lot of loose wire inside. So that's going to be the trick here on that. So I'm going to flip this around. So I'm working on this nacelle because the chiller grill has been sitting a lot longer on this one. I'm going to shut down the effects for now and unplug it all. So while I'm working on it, before I do that, I'm going to catch up on the chat here. So Captain Shalmang says, looking great. Thank you. And Jody says, I like the way you already read that to me.
Yes.
Trent says, looks awesome. Let's see. Jody also says it fills the whole thing nicely. Yeah. And Captain Shalmang says, sounds like a delicate balancing act. Yeah, getting those. I think it's going to be a little bit of a delicate balancing act getting the upper nacelle parts installed. But that's what we're here to do. The whole thing is a bit of a delicate act with the chiller grills. They're delicate parts. They're finicky to get in and to get aligned and to get sat properly, to get no gaps and all of that. So it's been a little bit of engineering with some brackets I've had to install to hold the chillers up high enough. So we'll see how that goes. But I'm going to shut down the Raspberry Pi. One moment, please. Because it actually has to go through a shutdown sequence, which is a little bit different than the Arduino. The Arduino doesn't seem to care if you just cut power to it. Pour myself a little bit more tea.
What kind of tea is it? And what's the temperature?
Well, it's tea, it's Earl Grey, and it's hot.
Oh,
If you must know.
it sounds so familiar.
I know. I don't know where you would have heard about it before. All right. Right now, I'm using for powering. I'm not powering the LEDs from the Raspberry Pi. I'm powering them from USB. This is the other end of the USB. I've modified it to go directly into the breadboard. And then the Raspberry Pi is just powered through the USB. Let me get this inner light stuff cleared away from the desk, from the working space. And then I can move this thing around. I think moving my whole work cutting mat thing is going to be a little easier.
Yes.
There we go. Now, the only problem with this, in order to get this on camera, the other nacelle blocks my line of sight to the chat. So I might move my, you might see me looking more to that side. So I've moved my StreamYard over there so I can see the chat better. All right, let me grab a top part. I just happen to have a top part here. And this top part goes on top, as the name would seem to indicate. Sits on top like that. And I think I'm just checking out the alignment here. So the thing I'm worried about the most, I think, installing the top part, besides getting the flasher set up, is that the epoxy I use doesn't run down the inside of the chiller grills.
Yeah, that'll be visible.
So that's what I'm going to be doing my very, very best to avoid.
Are you able to turn the whole thing upside down?
No.
Okay.
I am not, unfortunately. Not at, to sit upside down, it would have to sit on the nacelles.
Right.
Which is kind of a problem. So I'm going to grab some foam pieces, and line them up beside. Grab one more here.
Jody says, can you tape the grills before epoxy? I think you're more worried of it being dripping on them on the inside more than the outside.
Yeah, you can't epoxy this thing from the outside. I'm going to have to run epoxy. Let me grab a pointer here. Where's my little file? I have a very fine rounded file I like to use as a pointer. I'm going to have to run epoxy on the inside of this piece down here. Well, one, it's going to have to go along here to adhere to this part properly. It's going to have to go in here to adhere to the inside. Now, there's grills here. The grills go all the way up to the top, but they actually go on the inside. So I've got flexibility with not getting epoxy on the outside of the grill here. So that's fine. So I will epoxy this part that attaches to the collar here. I'll epoxy in here. And then I will do a thin line all the way. Actually, I'll probably do a thin line right on top of the, like let it gel let the epoxy gel up a little bit so it's not super runny, so let it sit for a couple minutes, and run a line all along the top of the chiller. And I'll do this part, and the same on the other side first, while the epoxy is a little bit more liquid. And then I will run it along the top of the actual chiller once it's had a chance to set up a little bit so it's not as runny. And then I'm going to have to throw this on top and tape it, and clamp it up here. I'm going to have to clamp it top to bottom and side to side to get it to really sit well. So this is going to be a bit of a tricky endeavor, but the first thing I have to do is get the wiring for the flashers connected. So that's going to be the first job tonight, which means I need to set up my soldering station. So please stand by while I set that up. But actually first, before I set that up, Trent says like a tape hinge to hold it in place. Yeah, I've got the foam here, so it's pretty much at the same level, and I can get it right close up. So I don't think tape's going to be necessary. And Jody says, I was thinking to mask it off, but then you can't remove the tape. If the epoxy gets all over the tape, that would be a nightmare to remove.
Well, that, and I think he was thinking tape on the inside, maybe.
Yeah, but then again, you can't do anything on the inside unless I could shrink down small enough and get on the inside of it and do it. I mean, that would be awesome to be able to do that. But
you're not friends with Ant-Man?
No, I am not. That would make troubleshooting models a lot easier too. Just go in, shrunk down with a flashlight, and figure out what's going on. Yeah. All right, let me grab my solder station.
Yeah, I guess if you're just kind of liberal with the amount of, or I guess not liberal, if you're just kind of conservative about the amount of epoxy you put in there, it should be fine. You shouldn't get runs.
Yeah. Oh. I dropped a foam sheet that has drill bits in it.
Uh-oh.
And when it dropped, a bunch of the drill bits fell out.
Oh, no. You got a big magnet?
Well, found one of them. I'll have to worry about the others later.
Yeah, you don't have a magnet or something to help try and find them and pick them up?
Not handy.
Okay.
All right. Spray the sponge. Let it come back to life. Turn this on. Find my solder. And probably clippers. There's a few things over the desk that I think I might need.
Shrink tube?
Yeah, I've got a shrink tube around here somewhere. The trick about this is always, how can I do it in the best way where I'm not dealing with wires coming down that will be seen?
I mean, the best place where things wouldn't be seen would be where that collar area is. That's like that golden yellow part.
Yeah. Getting in there now could be a bit of a hassle. I mean,
although that wiring's pretty thin, I don't know that you'd get much interference or if it'd be noticeable at all.
Well,
if you just went straight down with it.
You know what? We'll have to do a test. We will have to do a test, which means I'm going to have to run that. I'm going to have to set that the inner light system back up again.
I think if you went with a thicker wire, I think you could start to have problems, but that's really thin, the stuff you're using.
Yeah. Okay, let me test it in there and see if it makes any sort of noticeable kind of deal.
Yeah, I just think that's your simplest solution is if it can do that, I think you're golden.
I'm just flailing around here looking for my USB plug that I just had. I just had it.
Did you put it over to your right-hand side?
It's right here.
There we go.
If it was alive, it would have jumped out and bit me. I've turned my solder station back off just so that as I've got wires and stuff here, I'm not accidentally touching anything. Won't take long for it to heat back up again.
Don't forget, everyone, to hit that like button and subscribe if you're not.
Always greatly appreciated. Okay, data to data. If you're ever working with these addressable LED setups, something that's really important to do, but sometimes it's not explicitly indicated in instructions. Let me move this so that you can see this a little bit better. I'll just unplug. So on the breadboard, there's two things going on that you don't normally see in the instructions, but is really important. First, I've got a capacitor running on the power line. So if there's any sudden pull needed, so if it's suddenly drawing more amps, if you're running an effect, there's instant power with the capacitor there, so you don't get the fading of other lights if it's drawing a little bit more to run like a phaser effect or something like that. So that's important if you're running lots of different effects. The other is the resistor here, and I can't remember which value resistor it is. That's here. I'd have to look up which one I use for the data, but it's always good to put that resistor on your data line because it reduces any noise on the data line and can instantaneously prevent any issues happening with your lighting effects. So if you're looking to get into the addressable stuff, just keep that in mind. I'll try to remember to grab the let me see if I've got it here. Yeah, so I use, apparently I don't have any in this bag, but I use 330 ohm. 330 ohm for the data. So I run a resistor on the data line, 330 ohms, and that just keeps it clean and Just prevents some issues from arising. Okay, so the Pi has been receiving power, which means it should be booted on. So I just have to refresh the computer. Oh, I keep forgetting I have to choose the Wi-Fi on the Raspberry Pi again after I've shut down, because it automatically goes back to my house Wi-Fi. Because right now the effects are all running over Wi-Fi. Here we go. I've got it back up here again. Okay. Let me plug my data wire going to the ship into my breadboard. And I'm going to start her up. There we go. We've got window lights. We've got Buzzards coming on. We've got chiller grills. And so they do cast a little shadow.
Do they?
I mean, I don't know if you would really notice, but they do cast a wee bit of a shadow.
And that's the question: is it because you know it's there and you know to look for it, or is it because it actually stands out? And it's whether or not you can live with it. You're the one assembling it.
Well, I might have to see if I can bypass that. But I wanted to check, and you can. So if I can eliminate that as much as I can, I will. If I can't, I'll have to live with it. If I can eliminate it, awesome. Let me show you here. Give me a moment. I will grab another camera. Since I have this set up and running at the moment. I just have to add it to my streaming software. And just grab the right camera. Here we go.
Okay, we don't see anything yet.
I know. I'm going to switch it over here.
All right. There we go.
So there is a little bit. See the little interference there?
Yes, I do.
That's where that wiring is in there.
Oh, okay.
Some of it is the thicker wire that's just sitting down, but there's a little bit of the interference. And since we're here with this camera, let me turn all the lights. Oh, all the lights off. And let me do the sequence. And we'll do the other sequence. Oh, you can really see the green there tonight.
Yes, it is very vibrant.
There's another one here that will switch it from the all through all the primary colors.
That's cool.
Yeah. So yeah, I think I'm going to try to avoid as much as possible there.
Right.
if I can. And if I can't, well, I can't. All right. So I think this foam piece is going to be fine for allowing me to run this side by side and keep everything pretty close. I'm just going to shut down the Raspberry Pi here again and get that stuff out of the way. It takes about 30, they say leave it about 30 seconds to shut down. What I'm going to do, I think, is...
Yeah, because that wire there looks a lot thicker.
This is the stuff that that's coming up from the pylons. And this stuff is showing too because it's not been secured down yet.
Right.
So what I might do is I might connect the lower wiring to these here, to their appropriate ones, and then run another line of this wire in, up, and back out to the top here.
Yep.
And then connect it up. It's just, yeah, I don't know how to do this without it hanging of some degree.
Yeah, like right up against that, basically the wall of that that collar.
You know, if I keep it in the back, end, it might not be too much of a problem.
Right. Just keep those thicker wires nailed down and just have the two thin wires coming straight down at the back.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I thought you were going to be doing at first.
Although, I'm going to have to, if I cut some of the length here, bring these just up to here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I've got an idea. I have an idea. I have an idea. Okay, let me clear the Arduino, and then I'm going to talk through my idea. Because I need to talk it through before I decide if it's a good idea or a terrible idea.
Oh, and Alec is here. He says, "Good evening, Andrew. Also, it's somebody's birthday today. Someone famous in the universe that ship is from." And Ian's here, so I'm going to ban him.
Well, at least we know it was only for the one stream, so at least that test has worked out. It is William Shatner's birthday today.
How old is William Shatner today?
I believe he's something like 94.
Oh, good for him.
So he's made it as long as the Queen so far. So, okay, let me talk through, and this is where, yeah, Ian, definitely looks like you're unbanned now. Looks like if you're banned from within StreamYard, it's just for that particular stream. It's not permanently. So, okay, so let me talk through what I'm thinking. So the Buzzard cap is not permanently attached, so I can just take that off. What I could do, and it might be the only way to actually do it, is to...
I think I see where you're going with this.
So solder up some of my 30 gauge to these. Okay.
Yeah.
Just keep this extra wire attached to the top, and then run the end, like run these, keep them attached to the top somewhere around here, back far enough, and then keep the 30 gauge epoxy down just till it reaches this point here, and then keep it loose. Drill 2 holes for the for that wiring to come out this side, because I've got the like, you can't really see it. Actually, let me grab my phone here and reattach it.
That's that wall you put in, you showed last week.
Okay, I've got my phone back up and running. Let me switch over here. I just have to find my mouse because there's 4 different screens going on here. Okay, and just it's handheld right now. You like my Canadian Starships on the back of my phone? So it runs along here, switches to 30 gauge here, is epoxied down to this line here. Then it's loose. I drill holes in the top, in the top here for it to come through, and holes in the bottom here for it to go back in to the bottom.
Yeah. Or you just epoxy it to the back side or to the inside of that wall without drilling holes through it. And then to the bottom.
Yeah, but the problem is if I want to keep the top part taut so it doesn't droop. Well, actually, if I want to keep it taut so it doesn't droop, because it's going to have to be fed. It's not going to be sitting on this. It's got to actually be fed under this part here.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay. So what I could do, and actually what I could do, what I could do is I could just run the line out here, run that line out here, put it together. Sorry, I'm not doing well with my camera work here while I'm explaining. Run the wire out top and bottom here. They don't even need to, it doesn't even need to be the same wire. Okay? Just out here. And so I can attach it here. I can leave it really loose inside while I attach it. And then once it's all attached, I can pull it tight over here and then just solder the 2 parts together. It'll be sitting in behind the LEDs here, so that won't interfere with anything. I'm thinking that makes the most sense. What do you think?
I would agree.
I think that's going to be my best option game plan wise.
Yeah, that's going to keep anything from going across the field of view for the chiller grills.
Yeah, what does the chat think? What does the chat think?
What do you, the people at home, say?
Before I get to doing drilly stuff, because I think the last thing in the chat is happy birthday Shatner, or Billy Shat.
Yep.
Hello, chat. What do you think?
Oh, there's Ian.
So Ian, let me throw Ian's chat up here. Ian says, I don't think that tiny wire will cast much shadow with all the light in there, but I could be wrong. So I ran a test already, and you can see it. So it does cast a shadow. Amazingly, it casts a shadow. I mean, it wouldn't be the end of the world, but if I could get rid of it, if I can get rid of it, I will get rid of it.
Yeah, we tested about 10 minutes before you got here, Ian.
Yeah.
Maybe 5 minutes before you got here.
All right. So I don't know if you're going to be able to see the whole process here. I also have a wire glued in that I want to try to avoid hitting.
So Trent's giving you a thumbs up. Jody's saying it sounds like a good plan. Captain Charlemagne and Ian are both saying, yeah, that's kind of the way to go, and go for it.
Drilling into this while it's attached to the ship might just take a few moments here. Yeah, Ian, it's not like super noticeable, but I certainly notice it, and so if I can get rid of it, I will. And I think doing it this way is going to just alleviate having any loose wiring inside, which I was really hoping to avoid if possible. So,
well, on the upside, it's only the one light up top there. So,
yeah.
Yeah, it created some noticeable shadows, Ian. So,
Some of the shadows you were seeing were the thicker wire that wasn't yet nailed down.
Yeah, but you can still see the other one too.
Watch Andrew drill holes in his model. Still not quite there. I'm not sure this drill bit's going to be. This is going to make a big enough hole yet or not, but
You don't have like a Dremel or anything?
I do, but these bits don't fit.
Okay.
Like the tiny pin vise bits don't fit. I made it through. Now to test to see if the wire fits through. Also, I want to keep the hole as tight as possible to prevent light leak. Oh, it's the perfect size.
Perfect.
Perfect size. So I need one more up top, and I need the two on the bottom.
Jody says, put heat shrink on the bits.
I will.
I think he means like to make them fit in your Dremel.
Oh, on the. Oh, I see.
On the drill bits. Yeah, he says a couple layers makes it thick enough.
Interesting. How hard is it to get it off again after?
could probably just scrape it off with the X-Acto knife or something.
I know, I've got 4 holes to drill. Probably by the time I go through the effort to do that, I could just do it with the pin vise.
Yeah, he says it grips well. Alex saying he got home safely, but he's got a leak in his rear tire on his bike.
That's
for
no
the
fun.
third time.
Did you get a puncture there, Alec?
Yeah, I think he was talking about it on in Discord today. Unfortunately, yeah, Jody's just confirming you just cut it off with a blade, the heat shrink afterwards.
And my drill bit got stuck.
I see that.
There we go. I think I'm going to have to get myself a new pin vise. It's not quite holding as well as it once used to. I mean, it's on who knows how many thousands of windows.
Well, it probably doesn't owe you anything then.
Yeah. I can never, especially on these tiny bits now, I can never quite seem to get it tight enough. And so it just stalls in the hole.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Probably going to abandon the first hole I drilled. It's a little bit too low for my liking inside. Yeah, the one I just did is right at the top on the inside, so it'll keep the wire as high up as possible.
Good.
I just have a wire in there that I'm trying to avoid.
Yeah.
All right. I'll put the second one right close up to it. This is the part of the nacelles. Excuse me. This is the part of the nacelle work I was dreading a little bit, just figuring out how to do this and keep the wires in place and all that kind of stuff. So glad a plan has come into place.
Yes, you're gonna love it when a plan comes together. Hello, Howard. He asks if we're playing bingo today. Feel free to play bingo if you like.
But I don't think you're going to win anything.
We'll give, if you win, we'll say that you the prize is the fact that you just won.
Well, I don't think that you'll get many marks on your bingo card.
No, probably not.
Most of those don't apply to Canadian Starship streams.
He says, "Oh, I can't dash someone."
As long as you're not dashing somebody's hopes and dreams. There you go. So yeah, this is a bit of a slow, uninteresting process for the live stream, but part of the process that has to be done. Haven't quite made it all the way through yet.
Got to be close.
On the second hole.
Yeah.
Unless I'm a little bit too close to that wire. Hard part is I can't see inside there to...
You need one of those little mini snake cams that you can just put the camera head down in there and look. Okay, cool. Oh.
Did Dash just show up?
Yeah, a few minutes ago.
Well,
yeah.
then hello, Dash. Sorry, I wasn't sure if you were already in the chat or not, so...
No, this is where he just showed up.
Okay. Well, welcome. We're just working through getting the nacelles closed up tonight, so I can move on to other things. Yeah, I don't think the location where I was drilling that one's going to work. So I'll go the other side of the hole I drilled. We'll get there. 12 hours later.
You wouldn't want to drill a slightly bigger hole with the Dremel at all, or and then just seal it?
I want to maintain the light penetration.
Did you have some that tulip?
I've got tulip.
Because you could then, once you got the wires run through, and before you put the Bassard cover back on.
There, I'm through that time. It was just a matter of the placement.
Okay.
And now to do the bottom part. The bottom part I'm not as concerned about because, well, gravity, and this thing isn't actually going into 0G, so... But I'll keep it as close to the bottom as I can. I'm thinking for speed factor, I might need to, when it comes to my videos, I might need to take a little bit more of a higher up view of things and not be quite so granular with my video updates.
Right. Well, my new build I want to start here this coming week. I'm just waiting for my air compressor to show up, but I know it's so big I'm gonna have to change my camera to be a lot higher up to catch a lot more.
Well, what I mean is I like to focus on all the details.
Yep.
But I might have to take a bit more of a broader approach. Just show more update, like more progress, rather than the fine detail of what I'm doing.
Okay.
Okay, drilling the last of the holes. For this side.
Yes.
I'm gonna have to do this all over again on the other side.
But it always goes faster the second time because you know what you're doing.
Yeah. Well, and that's what I'm thinking, like, because I've got 2 of these to build, right?
Yep.
So I'm going to do the full assembly on just this one first. And then while this is in, like, drying, like, in its various paint stages, I'll do the construction on the other one. So I'll do the construction on the second one while paint's drying on the first one.
Right. Is the second one the one with the custom name?
At this point, it doesn't matter which one's which.
Oh, okay.
So
I was just wondering for which one, because it'll be the one you take to Wonderfest, or will you have
no,
both
the Enterprise
ready?
will be the one I take to Wonderfest.
Okay. Are you hoping to have both of them done then by Wonderfest?
Hopefully, because I don't want to make one client wait longer.
Right.
Especially since the custom name client's already been waiting longer because he had the Don Choco D
Yes.
previously, and so he's had to wait longer because we stopped that project to go with the bigger one. So I don't want to make him wait longer, right? But I do need a complete one for Wonderfest, and I've got permission to take the other clients, the Enterprise one, to Wonderfest. So bit of a we'll see how that goes, kind of a deal. All right. Let's get some wire in. And as always, I'm going to put way more wire in than I need right now. Move that a little bit so it's a little easier to see. That wire is not going in very easily. There we go. There might have still been some debris in there. There we go.
Hey, nice.
So I can pull. You know what? I'm going to put a bigger piece in. I need some more length to play with. Doesn't hurt to put a longer piece in.
That's right. You can remove some later.
Because I want to be able to, I'll show you here once I get this in. Here we go. So that gives me lots to play with.
Looks like we're getting someone joining us.
At least he's trying to. So this will attach here.
There we go. Hi.
Hello. This stream is rated E for everyone.
Yes.
Good evening, Ian.
Good
How you
evening,
doing?
Ken. Hello, everybody.
So
Well,
Ian,
I'm
if
going to
you-
get some water. I'll be right back.
if you join with no camera, then it doesn't do the flashy thing.
Oh, there we go. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay, stop cam. There we go. Thank you for the tip.
We set it up a little while ago where if you join with no camera, it doesn't put an avatar or anything or try to put anything up on the screen.
Gotcha.
So,
Got it.
Yeah.
Question.
Answer?
Okay, so this utterly phenomenal Enterprise D that's going to Wonderfest. Now, I saw one thing that Bill Krause does is when he finishes a ship, he brings it to Wonderfest, and sometimes the customer will come to Wonderfest to take delivery of their commission.
Yeah, we talked about that. Like, so the client and I talked about that, but we figure, especially right now, if it crosses the border with me, it needs to come back across the border with me.
Oh, really? Because then, he's in Canada as well, I assume then.
Yeah, because it goes across the border as a display-only item.
Yes.
Not a for sale item.
Oh, and then it comes back as a purchased product.
Border, and he will take delivery of it here in Canada.
Okay. Well, you could do like a dealer meetup, like right after the border, and just hand it off.
Well, he's going a completely different direction than I am. So
okay, I was curious about that because
and at this point, he's probably flying.
Okay, yeah. Oh, okay. Well, that's even no, forget it. That's a non-starter then. Because like taking delivery of your custom giant Enterprise D at Wonderfest, that's like taking delivery of your Porsche 911 GT3 RS at Stuttgart, Germany.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, it would be very cool.
It would be.
But is your commissioner buyer going to be at Wonderfest?
He is planning to.
Planning. Okay. Well, that would be a nice little way to oh God, man, that's such a good marketing thing too.
So at least he'll be able to see it there, and get first eyes on it.
I would do a photo op with him, like wear your logo T-shirt and do a photo op in front of the Inner Lights booth, you know, with the customer, and Inner Lights will probably love it too.
Well, hoping that it'll draw some attention to the Inner Lighting booth.
Andrew?
Yeah.
You're a humble man. I know. You're a humble man. I, however, am from New York. And
Bingo.
when this fully lit behemoth of a model powers up at the Inner Lights booth, they're going to have police clear traffic.
Well, I don't know about that, but
good luck getting Todd out of the way. He takes up a lot of space.
Well, if it sorry, I'm just in the process of looking for some shrink tube at the same time that I'm talking.
I know the feeling.
If it does the job of one, drawing people's attention to Andy's booth.
Yes, it will.
2, draws some, pushes some traffic to my YouTube channel.
It will.
And 3, allows people who already follow the channel to get a chance to see the finished product. Then I'll be happy.
I predict you'll be very, very, very happy.
Because essentially that's what I need this to do. So
I think you will accomplish your goals.
I mean, just having the saucer there on its own last year caught attention. So
well, I caught our group's attention immediately, and many other people's. Ken, what do you think? Will they achieve their goals?
Oh, I think so. I think you need to get a banner and hang it off the front of an aircraft carrier model or something, saying "Mission accomplished."
Well, the big thing is going to make sure that this thing is finished. But
yes.
Hopefully, either by the end of tonight, although that's looking improbable. So hopefully by tomorrow, both nacelles will be closed, and I can move on to lighting the upper part of the secondary hull.
Okay.
If I can get that done pretty quickly, I can move on to the saucer. So,
well, yeah.
Paint has to be done for Wonderfest. Decals don't necessarily have to be done for Wonderfest.
Do you have the ability to take mental health days from work off?
Oh, I will probably take a week or two off just to get this thing as finished as I can.
Buttoned up, because there's still a lot of paint work to do, obviously.
Yeah.
The masking alone on that's going to take a day or more.
Yeah, it'll take some time. So I fully anticipate. So I get a decent amount of holiday time, I guess.
Okay.
So I get 5 weeks.
No, that's good.
And I also have like 10 personal days.
All right. So technically you get 7 weeks.
Yeah, the personal days really I have to keep for when like I don't have daycare.
Yes.
Like daycare cancels last minute or something like that, right? So
yeah, they lose power or somebody's sick and they have to close down or whatever.
It's an in-home daycare.
Oh, okay.
So
so they like the nanny can't make it basically.
Like if our daycare lady if like because it's at her house, so if she's sick or if one of her kids is really sick or something like that, then daycare can be
Yeah, kids excel at a few things in this world. From what I've heard from all of my friends who are parents, is they excel at making you lose sleep, and spending a lot of money, and constantly bringing home bacteria and viruses.
Yeah. Very true.
Yeah, one of my best friends was sick barely a day in his life until his kids started going to school.
Yeah.
And then he's sick every 3 months.
That's the way it works.
That is some really tiny wire.
I've never previously gotten flu shots and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I have a mild kidney condition now, and my doctors want me to get the flu shot every year now.
Okay.
And so I got the flu shot back in October, and although everybody else in my family has been sick from the beginning of the fall through to now, not a single thing. I've had family sick all around me, and nothing for me. So
yeah. So question is, what gauge wire did you use for the addressable RGB strip in there?
30.
Really? Seems like a lot of powerful LEDs for a 30 gauge wire.
They don't take a ton.
Okay. Yeah, I think I used maybe, I don't have nearly that. I mean, I used a SMD strip in my fan home Enterprise D, and I think I used 28 gauge for that particular strip.
Yeah, I used to go bigger, but there's not really a need.
Okay.
And often you got so little space to work in these things.
Yeah.
That,
right.
Now, my main lines coming in are, let's see here. Don't tell me.
24?
I'm not sure it actually says on there.
Okay. I have a few different gauges I use. 22. Wow. Okay, that's pretty thick.
It might be.
Yeah, I have
It's been such a lot. I've had this stuff for forever, and I stopped using it because it's just too big, right? But for my main line coming in from the base, I wanted to use one because all the power is going through there, and two, when it's going through the post, I want it to be a little bit more durable.
Yeah, no, that was a good idea, I think. The biggest I have is a 20 gauge. That's because the amperage draw that my stupid fan home Enterprise is using is actually probably considerably higher than yours.
Quite possible.
Even though yours is much larger. Yeah, there's so many LEDs in that damn thing. I should probably have gone Todd's route and not used any of the stock lighting.
Well, I'm not sure that they really thought through everything on that.
No, there was very little engineering oversight in that project. It was not a well thought out model.
Well, I would never get it. And the primary reason is the secondary hull.
I would never get it either, but I have it. The only reason I got it is because two people abandoned their models for a very good price, and I could continue it and not have to spend a ton of money and have a fairly large Enterprise D. So it was an economical option. Ish. I don't think we can call any part work economical, right?
No. Andrew, I meant to ask you a little bit ago here. With your children, are you going to try and encourage them into the model building hobby?
If they so seem inclined.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, they see the work I'm doing.
Yeah. Hello, Todd. Todd's here.
Hey, Todd.
Evening, Todd. We accidentally left the back door open, so Ian found his way in.
Yeah, they forgot to lock the doggy door, and I snuck in like a raccoon.
Todd, you're welcome to come in too if you want.
Yeah, make it a party, Todd. I think as far as my American friends go, Todd is the most obsessed with the Enterprise D person that I know.
Todd for some of the best reference photos of it we have available at this point.
Yeah. Oh my God. Sometimes I'm like, where the hell do you find all these things? What dark web photo portal are you using to find all these top secret squirrel photos?
He's taking them himself.
Yeah, let's see.
Todd says I'm editing pictures. You all are distracting.
Oh, geez.
And then he laughs.
You're welcome.
Sorry, Todd. I just sent Todd and Andrew Jordan. Andrew, this joke has gone too far. I'm transposing your names. I sent Todd and Jordan a photo of a gift that I got for Wayne from World of Wayne for when we visit him in Corby.
Uh-huh.
And Todd thinks he'll love it, so I'm very happy about that. I'm just excited. I'm so excited to see this ship just lit up at the Inner Lights booth. I can't wait.
Well, I'd give free previews ahead of time in the room or something like that, but I think it's going to be loaded directly into the hotel, directly into the dealer room.
Yeah, go straight to the dealer room with this thing. You don't want any chances, any risks taken. Just straight from the vehicle. Are you going to put this thing in like a wooden shipping crate or something?
That's the plan.
Yeah, I figured. Okay, and like a lot of bracing and foam and a frame under it or something.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about the trip to Wonderfest because I'll be driving. And it'll sit nicely in the back of the Model Y. But when it goes from the shop here to the client, that's when I want to make sure that it is idiot-proof.
Oh, take a look at this comment from Todd.
Yeah, that's what I told you. He took the pictures himself.
Yeah, I think they were about to call security on him. Now I remember the story. Yeah, they were looking at him funny. Oh, that was at the Peterson, I think. They were like, what the hell's this guy doing?
Because I'm sure they've seen people take photos, but not that many.
Yeah, he was
normal for people to take photographs.
Well, I took a few photos here and there. I took like maybe 20 photographs of the DeLorean time machine because, of the part work model. But Todd took like hundreds of the DeLorean time machine to the point where like people, it seems like security was wondering like, what is he doing? But Todd's a detail-oriented person, just like you.
So I have these wires attached and coming out the front so I can pull them taut once
Nice.
the top piece is up. So I'm going to tape these down, and then hey Dash, thanks for the super chat, $4.99. Here we can check this on the bingo card. Since Ian is here, we have more chance to bingo. Have some coffee. Well, thank you, Dash.
Or tea.
Coffee or tea, depends on the time of day and the mood I'm in. Although I find I enjoy the tea for the live streams, and it's on brand.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Look at Todd's comment.
The Peterson was intrigued when I took the first 100 pics of the DeLorean. After the second 100, they got worried. After the third 100, they helped me out moving seat, opening doors.
They gave him interior access at that point. They're like, okay, this guy is obsessed. Any publicity is good publicity for a museum.
Yeah, you don't you don't want your publicity being escorting fans out who just want to take pictures of things.
Yeah. So Andrew, I know you're not like a big pop culture movie car guy, like James Bond, Back to the Future, Ghostbusters type thing.
Oh.
Buy extra foam to pack things in, or electricity to deliver them yourself.
Well, thank you, Todd.
Yeah. But like if you're going somewhere, what museums would you generally gravitate towards?
Museums,
like history museums, or automotive, or military, or sci-fi, anything like that.
I mean, when we go places right now, it's usually we go to Florida because that's where the in-laws are, and they can look after the kids when we want to go have a meal together or something like that.
Okay.
And a lot of what we do traveling right now is all around what the kids want to do. So
family related, yeah.
Yeah.
There is a movie car museum in Florida.
Where?
Let me look it up. I forget where.
You're just using blue tape right now, just
Yeah, just to tack it down, and then I'll drop bits of epoxy in to lock it into place.
Okay.
Yeah, the Orlando Auto Museum, Andrew.
Okay.
I don't know if you go to Orlando area.
We're not doing Orlando until the kids are older.
Okay. Well, there's quite a lot of movie car stuff related things there.
Yeah.
They have indoor go-karting.
I've seen a walkthrough of it.
Yeah, it's fairly impressive. I think they might actually have the car from the original Mad Max movie.
I think they had like weird ones. I'm thinking they had weird ones too, like one of the trucks from, or one of the emergency vehicles from the TV show Emergency from the 70s.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they have an Ecto-1 replica. They have a DeLorean time machine replica. They have a mystery machine from Scooby-Doo. They have a 66 Batmobile replica. I'm fairly certain, maybe they don't have it anymore, but they did have the car from Mad Max in there.
Don't worry, Alec. We're actually not playing bingo. That's an HTM stream thing, not a Canadian Starship stream thing.
Yeah, no, that's
the chances of getting a bingo on it during my stream are slim to none at best.
Yeah. And Todd took the 6-footer Enterprise D pictures at the Skirball when the Paul Allen collection was on display. I've heard that name before.
Which, Paul Allen or Skirball?
Paul Allen. I think I've heard it on some Adam Savage videos when he does things at Prop Store that they're auctioning. co-founder of Microsoft. Oh, okay. Well, that would explain it. Also,
You know, sometimes when you're modeling, a third hand would come in really handy.
well, you've got helping hands, but not a third hand.
Well, maybe when your kids get older, you're gonna have a helper.
Hey, here, Sonny, put your finger here and don't move.
I could see I could see my daughter doing something similar because of her perfectionism.
And
having a way to vent those perfectionist tendencies and stuff with her autism.
Andrew needs a Cisco.
Andrew needs a what?
A Cisco. Todd's friend Francisco. Oh. He would often help him out in the shop with things.
I see. I was wondering why I needed a commander from a space station.
No. Francisco. We just all call him Cisco. And Paul Allen bought a ton of Star Trek stuff. Also responsible for the MPOP in Seattle. Oh, the Museum of Pop Culture. I'm assuming that means.
I think that's where the original Klingon Bird of Prey from the TV show is.
Ah, okay. Andrew, are you going to glue those wires down? Howard asks. And I was just thinking the same. Maybe a little hot glue gun action might be in order.
Epoxy.
Okay. Same. Yeah.
Sorry, I mean the Klingon D7. Klingon D7.
Oh, the D7.
I very rarely use hot melt glue in a model, and if I do, it's only when I need something really held down really quickly, temporarily, and until I get a chance to epoxy it in place. So there's let me get my little pointer here. There's a gob of hot melt in here holding the bottom of the chiller down, and the same on the other side. But that was basically just to temporarily, basically because I didn't have enough hands or fingers or whatever to hold in place.
Yeah, almost like a clamp.
Since you guys are reading my chat for me, I'm going to move my StreamYards back in front of me, so it looks like I'm looking at the camera when I'm looking at it.
Howard said you need a Harry Kim. Man, that guy never got promoted.
I have a story idea for Star Trek that would, one, make Harry Kim the most important person in the universe, and two, fix all of the visual canon problems that they've made for themselves over the last couple of years.
Interesting.
All right. That's that in place.
That looks fairly tucked down.
Whip up some epoxy, tack it down, and then move on to the other one.
Let's see. Todd said the Museum of Pop Culture has the big Voyager, DS9, Enterprise D studio models. He bought all of them.
Wow.
Insane.
We need some good reference photos of those things.
Yeah, Devin Smith said, I need to memorize where all these filming models are so I can do a world tour sometime. Yeah. Andrew, you should probably take a trip down to MPOP and nerd out for a day or two.
I also wouldn't mind having some really good reference photos of the studio model for the Nebula.
Yeah. I mean, I spent 7 hours at the Tank Museum in Bovington, UK, and I didn't even see the whole thing to my desired level of detail.
Yeah.
Bad news, though. Todd says the studio model of the B was also its Skirball display too, but I didn't take a bunch of pictures.
Oh, I could have used those.
Oh, the Enterprise B was like the redheaded stepchild of Enterprises, unfortunately.
Hey, I'm a redheaded
I love
stepchild.
the B. I like the
you.
B. I'm just saying it didn't get the attention and fanfare of the TOS, the 1701, the refit A, the D, or the E, or subsequent ones. I don't know how far they went with it because I stopped watching the TV shows that they started putting out.
They've gone as far as G so far.
Well, G. Well, didn't they have some weird futuristic thing with like...
Yeah, the J.
Oh.
Well, that thing. We don't talk about the J.
Yeah, I know. That thing is just weird, man. It looked like origami on acid. It was just wrong. Yeah, I stopped using that 2-tube applicator thing a long time ago. I switched over to separate bottles.
That's what I started using, but then
Yeah,
I
the
see
separate
people like
bottles are-
use these syringe ones, and I'm like, for the amount I use, that probably wouldn't be that bad.
But you know what? You know what makes using this stuff so much easier?
Getting exact measurements right.
Clipping. So clipping the top so they're independent of each other.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that is a little better. I still think that, they still goop up in the tip sometimes, and when you put the cap on,
because I'm independently controlling each side, and I'm able to pull it back.
Yeah.
Because I've got them independently done.
That's a good tip.
It sucks any extra back inside, so it's cleaned up by the time I go to deal with it.
Yeah, I ended up just getting a couple of the 4-ounce DevCon bottles with, their own tubes, tips, their own things.
Yeah.
And Ian, Todd wants you to check your Discord.
Let's see here. There's Todd. Oh my God! Todd just sent me a photo from the MPOP Museum. Andrew, I think you have to go there. Oh boy. Oh wow.
I
He
have
says,
to.
if you look closely, you can see the little B between the E and the DS9.
Oh yeah, the tiny little bee. Yeah, there she is.
What are you guys looking at?
Was that a
We're
private
looking at
message?
the photo
or-
Todd sent. Wow, that's impressive. Yeah, the bee is so tiny. I mean, the bee was bigger than the A, but not massively so. Like it was
well, the
50%?
Excelsior class was a fair bit bigger than the Constitution class.
No, but I mean 50 to 100% bigger. But like the D is just like a behemoth compared to the B.
Ian, Todd would like you to share it on stream, that picture.
Share it on stream. Let me see here.
Well, if you send it to me, I can pop it on if you send it to me.
There we go. I'll do that. That's easier. Let me forward this over to Canadian Starships. There we go. Send. Okay, it's in your DMs on Discord.
All right. Oh, and it looks like Todd just sent it too.
Oh yeah. There you go.
All right, let me just throw this on screen. There we go.
Yeah, the B is right between DS9 and the Enterprise E. Look how tiny. I mean, there's also foreshortening.
Is that the 6-foot D? Looks like that starboard nacelle seen better days. It's a little bit warped, off kilter.
It's a little droopy.
Yeah.
It looks like me after a Friday night stream.
So that display isn't there anymore. They shrunk the Star Trek display, so most is traveling or in storage. He said, "Yep, that is the 6-footer."
Wow, impressive.
Yeah, that nacelle definitely needs some work.
Yeah, I mean, all those filming models were kind of not meant for longevity more than a few seasons, apparently.
Depends on how rushed they went into production. And what
yeah.
Because they needed to be able to be
DS9.
manhandled during production, right?
I would like to build a big DS9. Like, not what's the currently available DS9 model, Ken? What is it? Like,
It's a weird scale because it's a space station.
Yeah, it's like 1/1,000,000th scale, and it's like what, 10 inches, what, a foot wide, something like that.
Yeah, and
Does it say
it's clear
on the
plastic
box?
too.
1/500 scale. It says on the box.
Yeah, it's a little problematic to build. I've seen from the videos I've watched.
But it does come with some spare ships. It comes with some Defiance and some
the current
Cardassian
ships. The current
runabouts. Yeah.
Yep.
Let's see. Jody asked, didn't the 4-footer get exploded?
I don't think so.
Okay, let's see. Devin Smith asked, what was the filming model for the D? Ever perfectly straight and planar. Not as bad as that, of course. I don't know. Let's see. There's another pic that came in apparently.
So I don't know what happened to the filming. Oh, I've still got the picture up. Leaving the wrong screen up, a service I provide.
There you go. They just sold the studio scale DS9. I forget what they got for it. Oh, they sold the studio DS9. My God, why? Keep it in a museum so people can see it, so fans can go visit it.
Well, you get people like the co-creator there of Microsoft who bought all those ones and then put them in a museum.
Well, I think the refit is at Blue Origin.
Oh, Bezos bought it?
I think so.
Bezos? I'm from New York. I mispronounce stuff. Welcome to Ian.
Yeah, I think it's at one of his Blue Origin facilities.
Okay. So Todd said the 4-footer was lost for a long time, thought to be hanging over a greasy stove at a Hard Rock Cafe for a while, but it randomly showed up on a couch at Paramount and is now safely in storage. All right.
The chunky one.
The chunky one?
Yeah, the 4-foot is a chunkier model. So when you see when you see shots of it in the show, and the detail looks chunkier, that's the 4-foot.
Okay. Devin Smith said DS9 is 1/3200 scale or 1/2500 scale, depending on the scene. The Cardassian ship and the Defiant are 1/2500 scale. Do you not get runabouts?
I think you do.
Yeah, they're tiny though.
Yeah, they got to be small at that scale. I mean, 1/2500 scale runabout is like a 1/350 scale battleship anti-aircraft gun, if even.
I haven't built it since I was younger. So like during the first run of the show, but I don't remember it being a problem to build. But I don't know what it is as far as lighting and stuff like that. So
yeah, I still regret losing my Rick Berman signed pilot episode script for DS9 that I got at a con once. It was a shame.
You lost it as in you just don't know where it went?
No, I lost it in a fire.
Oh, okay.
It got smoke and water damage beyond recovery.
Oh, have you lived through a house fire?
Apartment fire, but not a full apartment fire. It wasn't even really a fire. It was an electrical cord on a fan that was smoldering from a short circuit. But it heated up the room to the extent where when I opened the door to the room, it went from smoldering to flaming. I put it out, and then the fire department came in and decided to just hose the whole room down for no good reason other than they brought the hose all the way the hell up to the 9th floor of the apartment building, and they were determined to spray water. So yeah, I lost all my comic books, quite a few other things.
That's a cool view.
Yeah, that is cool. That is very cool. I went to the Star Trek experience in Vegas back in the day. I think that was at the MGM Grand. I forget which hotel it was at. I think it was the MG. I'm not sure anymore. I forget which casino. Wow. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I want to build a big one of those one day. Oh, I got a 3D printer farm now, so maybe I could print one out.
Yeah, that's my concern, Andrew, is lighting the kit.
Yeah, lighting that DS9 is a bear.
I think if I build it, I'll definitely build the clear version and then use a pin vise to just take the paint off to open the windows.
Well, that's kind of what I'm thinking too, because I've also got the photo etch templates that I can use to put the windows wherever they need to go, I guess.
Yeah, Todd said the 4-footer had the paneling emphasized. The 2 and the 6 had smooth hulls. Oh, Todd, how did you get those photos? Was there was a catwalk I saw before, I think, right?
No, Todd's just that tall.
Todd's just so tall, it doesn't matter. Yeah. He just held his arms over his head and took those photos.
And then said, you need to dust up there.
Yeah, he put his arms up in the air. Those are other people's pictures. The display was back in 2017. Oh, okay. That's a long time ago. Not that long, but Howard said he'd like to build Baron's mercenary ship from the Gambit Part 1 and 2. My
nacelles are straighter.
Oh, well, yeah, clearly. I mean, I don't think they put steel, panel, steel strip in there.
Apparently they should have.
They probably should have, but maybe they were in too much of a rush.
Yeah.
And they're, these prop shops are working on so many productions at the same time. They put like 1 or 2 guys on a model and they say, get it done by this day. We don't care how, just make it look good and make it done.
Well,
they don't say it's got to last 20 years. Yeah.
Devin says there are 2 drilling templates for the DS9, Paragraphics and Green Strawberry 2024. I believe the Green Strawberry is more accurate in most places. Well, it's good to know because I think I've only got the Paragraphics, but yeah, I'll have to take a look at the Green Strawberry one, maybe pick one up.
The only opinion I have between Paragraphics and Green Strawberry is Paragraphics is a North American company, plus their photo etch, for better or worse, is a bit thicker and more resilient than the Green Strawberry photo etch. Their photo etch is so paper thin that
for doing using it as a template to drill at windows, then
I would use the Paragraphics.
Paragraphics would be great because it's a nice sturdy.
Yeah, it's a much more sturdy thing. And also, I met Paul at Wonderfest, and he was a delightfully nice person. Paul at Paragraphics was very gracious, very nice guy.
And Paragraphics has the benefit of being in North America.
They do so, and they have the benefit of speaking understandable languages I can decipher, whereas sometimes Green Strawberry is a little difficult to understand, and Jordan did have some troubles with their product. But they do make some. I have some Green Strawberry. I have a lot of Green Strawberry stuff. I like their stuff. I just noticed that photo etch is like begging for me to completely booger it up. It's just so delicate.
Let's see. Photo etch for the refit?
No, not for the refit. It was for the Kronos 1. I have their photo etch, and I think I may just go ahead and just get the Paragraphics because their chiller grills. I feel the Paragraphics chiller grill inserts for the Kronos 1 are a little nicer, and they're also a little more resilient. And also, I'm a meat popsicle with sausage fingers and no coordination, so I'm better off with a sturdier photo etch to work with.
Devin, don't forget you can use white glue, like like just your standard white glue to attach flat photo etch in place.
So there's
if you want to go
models.
overboard. Yeah. Wow.
There we go. 3 different scales.
Yeah.
Todd says if you look closely, you can tell they flatten the back ends of the nacelles on the 4-footer as well. 2 and 6 are more rounded at the rear.
Okay. Oh, yeah. They're definitely stubbier at the back. For photo etch, also another thing people like to use is Gator Grip hobby glue.
It's a white glue as well.
It is a white glue as well. It's somewhat reformulated, but a lot of people love that stuff. I have a bottle of it. I've used it. It works well. But Elmer's school glue also works just fine and is readily available.
Yeah.
To recap, for those who joined since we kind of worked through how I was attaching the wiring for the top nacelle part to the bottom part, to keep all of the lighting clean from shadows of wires, I've run the flasher on the back here, and it was a lot easier to snake the wire just to tuck it away than to redo, like shorten it and redo it. So to keep it from hanging down across the chiller grills and casting shadow, it's going to the front. Then we've drilled holes through the light blocking wall in the Buzzard. It's going out the top of the Buzzard, and then it'll go back in the bottom and then join up with the wiring on the bottom. And we did that so that when the top cover goes on, then the last of it can be pulled tight as it's going on, and there won't be any wires drooping anywhere, getting in way of lighting. So it's the best way I could come up with to keep the wires clean, secured in place, not drooping anywhere, not moving around, making noise, while at the same time closing this thing up. So for anybody who missed that earlier on, that's kind of why I'm doing what I'm doing at the moment.
Very, very elegant solution there.
Also with photo etch, just yesterday, I was doing what I learned from Will, doing my Reliant build. He showed a method of using your soldering iron. So I used my soldering iron. So it'll be in my video that comes out tomorrow. Once I got the photo etch in place, taking my soldering iron and holding it on that photo etch part until it warms up enough that you can just push it down slightly further into the plastic to make it more like a less of a seam. It turned out really good. Turned out really, really good. So
kind of welding it into the plastic.
Yeah, it melts it right into it and brings the level down further.
Nice.
So it kind of melts down into it.
Right around the edges, I'm assuming, mostly? Or the whole thing?
Just around the edges.
Yeah. Let's see. We got a couple comments from Devin. Photo etch and CA glue, my worst enemies. Canopy glue doesn't hold strong enough for my sanity. Yeah, I saw that method too. It's genius for things that need to be flush. Okay, so Devin was commenting on your welding method.
Yeah.
Oh man, I can't wait to see this thing at Wonderfest. Oh. It's going to make the 9-hour drive slightly less painful. Thank you, Andrew.
I can wait.
You've been staring at this thing for so many hours, you're probably sick and tired of seeing it almost.
Almost, yeah.
Yeah. So are you doing any sort of reflective material on the upper part of the nacelle?
No, it's just white. Doesn't need it. Okay.
So just the normal white's going to diffuse and bounce the lead enough. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
That makes sense.
You betcha.
You had to throw the you betcha in there for good measure.
Pull on the strap and say the obligatory, this thing isn't going anywhere.
Yeah. A little more epoxy.
Yeah, I'm just going to figure out how I'm going to kind of deal with the wire management on this and where I want it to connect to the line coming in.
So you got one wire for the flashers, and you've got another wire for the chiller grill and Bassard collector, I assume, right?
So what's happening is you've got the general power going to the addressables.
Yes.
So that's 2 wires. Then you've got the data for the addressables. So that's 1 wire coming in, and then 1 going back out to the model, to the rest of the model.
Because they run in series.
Yes, the data channel runs as a chain all the way through.
Yes, like a CAN bus in a car. Yeah,
and then the flashers are part of the addressable system, but the LEDs are not addressable. So there's a expansion board that will be first in the chain in the base that will control the dumb LEDs. So the 0402s that are running for navs and flashers. So there'll be one effect on that board for the flashers, and then 1 for just the constant on nav lights. So they'll come on during the startup sequence, etc., whenever they're supposed to. And the flashers are all flashed in sequence with each other. So this is the flasher line that's coming up here.
So how many dumb LEDs are in the kit? Like mostly just the flashers?
So just the static navs and flashers. That's it.
Okay.
And they're all 0402 SMDs. Everything else is addressable.
Nice. Very nice.
Devin says Wonderfest is a day and 10-hour drive for me.
Yikes.
So are you saying 34 hours, or do you mean like 1 day of 12 hours of driving and then a second day of 10 hours?
It's a lot of driving.
34 hours. Whew, yeah.
I'm going to need these wires to cross, I think, and come to the other side. I can do that back here.
Is Devin in Alaska? Because I don't even think Southern California is a 34-hour drive from Wonderfest.
California would be significant.
I mean, it would be significant. It would be a solid drive. But if you're doing Cannonball Run style and trying to not stop and you have a co-driver, I don't think anywhere in the U.S. from East Coast to West Coast is 56 hours from Seattle. Oh my, I guess I'm wrong. Jesus. Wow. I've been watching too many Cannonball Run videos.
Yeah, he's not going to be driving those speeds.
Yeah, he's not putting a 200-gallon fuel tank in the trunk of a black Mercedes.
So it is 11 o'clock p.m. Eastern, which means I'm at the end of my time tonight. But before I go, what I'm going to just let you know here is where I'm at, what I have to do next in order to close this off, which I'll have to do tomorrow, is so hopefully by the time HTM stream comes around, if I do pop on a little bit later, if you guys are still on, hopefully I'll have some nacelles fully closed up. But what I got to do is connect the lower flasher lights to the blue and the white coming in, and attach the blue and the white that are going out the front of the Bussard to the top of the Bussard to these. And then once that's all in, I will lock down those wires on the bottom portion, and then the top gets installed, pulled tight, and then the blue and the blue get connected behind the LEDs for the Bussard here, and the white get connected behind that. And we've got closed up, sealed up warp nacelles. So that's my job tomorrow afternoon, probably, or evening, or whatever, because I need to get moving on.
Excellent.
So thank you, everyone, for joining me tonight. I hope that you've enjoyed the stream. If you did, make sure that you hit that like button. If you're new to my channel or haven't done so yet, hit that subscribe button today. You'll make me very happy if you do. But for now, my name is Andrew. This is Canadian Starships. Your producers tonight have been Ken and Ian. Have a great night, everyone.
Take care.